Okay, I'm going to come over here, and you can do this with your knife, you can do it with any gouge you have. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise his eyebrows up just a little, get up and underneath here, just a little bit. And raise that eye bridge up and dig out underneath just a little. Give me some shadow and a little more room to set an eye in there. Okay? So I just raised it up a little bit. I'm just coming from underneath and scooping it up until I get about the appearance I want. It's kind of hard to do at an angle. I'm ducking away from the camera and underneath so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just raising that up. Trying to stay deep in the corners here, okay? Keeping it clean. Going over to the side of the nose. Make sure this little ski jump in there is fairly clean. You can take that ridge down a little more with this. This is a great tool for making hair the size of this gouge. Again, it's a flex cut. I'd have to look up the numbers, but a lot of times I just do that with my knife. Just take the eyebrows higher. Get the eyebrows higher. Okay. Now, we got to make sure this is round enough that we can put a mustache on here. Like I said, he's got divots in the side of his, on this side of his face is a real big valley here. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. So what I'm going to do is take advantage of that, because I like to dig out from underneath the nose anyway. On both sides, it kind of thins his face down. So if you can stay underneath the nose from like here, you know, and then take out like here and here, it really gives him a neat look. So we're going to use a round gouge for that. Or maybe that big flat one even. Again, it's just got a little bit of a sweep on it. I'm going to put him in my folder. Okay, this one again has a little bit of a curve. See that? Is that sweet? So what I'm going to do is come up here and go over into the bark over here just a little bit. We're going to kind of establish a cheek area there. Try and get this taking advantage of that little gully we have there already. So then when I do it to the other side, he'll look more even on both sides. Okay. So I'm taking that out. Okay. You got to make sure you stay under the nose here for this. So we got that out. Over here on this side, stay underneath the nose. Same thing we're gonna. This will help really form up the mustache area here too. It'll raise that part up. Right? I'm trying to do this lefty and stay out of the camera at the same time. Here. Okay. Then I got that little divot there on that side. So we want a little more on this side. Usually I hold these in my hand, and it's a lot easier to just maneuver around the wood as you go. Okay, see cheeks starting to form here. We can use that or we can change it. Now we're going to try and round that off just a little bit more with a flatter chisel. Take away these little lines here. Make sure we round everything over. I'm going to try not to cut out that bottom wing that we added to the nose here, because we're going to dig that out with a gouge and make that look a lot more natural later on. Now he's getting some kind of neat shape to him. We're using the shape of the wood that's going down into the bark, trying to follow the contour of the wood to the side, but leave myself enough to give me a mustache here. Again, if we take too much off, there'll be no room for a mustache. We won't have any wood here. You know? I'm just shaving away, light shave. Trying to shape it so it's symmetrical fairly on both sides. And again, don't worry about any little chips, we'll clean them up later. If there's any little chips left. You don't want to keep it as clean as you can as you go. I haven't put eyes in or anything yet. We're just roughing them out and figuring out the shape that we want this guy to be. Okay. Again, this should be lower than the nose for it to stand out. We're going to put a mustache there. I'm going to get the marker. Usually your mustache, we already have it started where the cheeks are, right? And that smile line, we're just going to pick up that smile line. I'll kind of give him a little bit thicker mustache. You can give him big ones, fat ones, thin ones. Right. You see how that natural smile line is going to turn into the outside of his mustache. Right here. Okay, now he might have to change that a little. I'm not the best drawer. Usually I just start cutting and I shape them as I go, but I'm trying to give you an idea. Once you do so many of these guys, you don't do too much drawing. I know a lot of carvers that do. I myself don't. It's good reference. You might want this thicker, maybe over here. But once you've done so many, you know how much wood you have and how to adjust it. When I look in the camera, he looks really off. But that's okay. Alright, don't worry about that. We'll fix him up. Now, if I can find the little V tool that I had, put that back in my holder here, and maybe we'll just use that to get him started. Come up on the outside over here. Just like that, on the outside of that line, okay? And I'm just going to come up into that smile line a little bit. Trying not to take my nose nostril out. Okay. Then I'm going underneath. Take some wood out, take the line off. And the same on the other side. Okay, go underneath. We're going to shave up to that. Go right up the outside of that line. And try not to hit your nose. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm just trying to explain as I go, and I know I'm very boring and it's long, but it's the only way I can think of to show you how to really do these guys, is to try and explain what I'm doing as I go. Now we still have a marker line there. I'm going to shave that off. I'm going to turn my straighter gouge over. This is the one he's fairly straight. He's got a very, very slight sweep, not much at all.